Here we go. This is the Bad Parents Podcast. Very rarely do we have guests, but every once in a while somebody is up to the challenge and the task.
I'm so excited. Cookbook author extraordinaire, Top Chef Canada host Eden Grinshpan is here with her book, with her baby. I'm holding your baby.
You say, come on, Bad Parents. I'm like, just tell me when and where, baby.
Let's go, because we need a crew. Because there's comfort in numbers, right? Because we all feel like awful parents. So thank you for being the fourth member.
The guilt is so real. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Well, because you're traveling right now. So you're right in the thick of guilt.
I am in the thick of it. My kids, poor kids. You know what? My eldest kind of understands what's happening, but my youngest, she's not even 4. So the other day she was like, "Are you coming back?" I'm like, "I will always come back to you, baby."
Yeah.
Like, obviously it's way more dramatic for me. But you know what? I'm assuming that like she's not 4 yet. Apparently, like you don't like your memories before the age of 4.
Right,
I don't know. I've read somewhere.
I said 6 to myself.
Hold on, let's ask. Johnny's parents got divorced when he was young. When did you remember that?
Yeah.
That was when the memories kicked in the day. They sat me on the couch.
How old were you?
I was 4.
Uh-oh.
They sat me on the couch and said,
I have like 2 weeks left.
Yeah.
Don't worry. He's in therapy. It's fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. I'm 49.
You thought you were going to McDonald's.
No, my dad took me to McDonald's to sweeten the deal, then sat me down and said, "Who do you want to live with?"
No.
Yeah.
Wait, was your mom there too?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's precious.
So I said, my dad, he just took me to McDonald's.
Pressure, not precious.
No,
Sorry.
yeah. But yeah, so there we go.
Who'd you say?
What did I said? My dad, because he took me to McDonald's like 4 hours earlier.
Smart play, right?
Fair.
Yeah.
So just get your daughter's fast food and you're good to go.
You know
Nothing
what?
better than seeing your mom walk out the door.
Oh,
Anywho,
no.
so your cookbook looks great.
But the thing is, our parents didn't, I don't think, feel the guilt that we feel. We talked about that last time. You said, why did our parents kind of lie to us about what parenting was going to be like? Remember that?
You know what? I think it wasn't lie. I think it was more just like, I think that generation just like lived. They worked, they parented, they lived their life. I think we're asking maybe more questions. I think that's the difference.
Couldn't agree more with you.
I think that's the difference. I think we're like trying to quote unquote have it all. And we're like, wait a minute, why is this so hard?
Yeah, like we sacrifice so much, right? Like, you know how many people like my age, our age, and my kids are into sports. And they're like, my dad I wasn't even allowed to try out because there's no way he was driving me all over Southern Ontario to go and play in these hockey tournaments or soccer tournaments where we just never say no to our children.
Never say no.
Right? And then we're stretched at both ends and then turn to the bottle or fast food.
Well, I do want to say too, though, like back then, if you were, doing all those extracurriculars, there was a lot less like helicopter parenting, I think, for them. We're like, their parents let them go on public transportation without thinking anything of it.
Right.
Or like walking with their friends. So like they were doing all these extra things and they didn't worry as much. So there was more freedoms. So I think there's that as well.
I think when you said they just live, I think that's the answer. In fact, I'd like to get your opinion. So we talked about this on our radio show this morning. So Johnny's daughter unfortunately broke her arm 3 weeks ago. And he was.
How old is she?
She just turned 6.
Oi.
Yeah.
On the monkey bars, right? And
Yeah,
so
the
just
monkey bars.
Tell the story about the zoo. Because I like Eden's opinion.
Yeah. So she broke her arm three months ago, and she went and she
3
got
weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, and she got a cat 3 months ago. 3 weeks ago, and she went and got a cast. And we were at the zoo for Mother's Day, and we were walking around, and I overheard another couple say to each other, "Wow, there's a little girl with a cast on. You don't see that every day."
What?
And so,
What kind of a comment is that?
well, I was kind of like, I took it as like, I didn't push her off the monkey bars. Like I kind of took it personally, really quickly.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what? I also don't see a lot of people with casts on anymore. So I wonder if it's a little bit because of the helicopter parenting. We're not letting people kind of like, or kids kind of play like they used to on their mountain bikes off jumps, jumping over rocks and stuff. Or you can't break your arm playing on your iPad.
First of all, I would totally jump to that the first conclusion that you did. I would have been like, "What are you saying?
Yeah, you get.
What are you saying?"
Mm-hmm.
But I actually think, listen, I don't know if this is like totally like separate, but have you read the book Anxious Generation?
No.
So you should read that book. It's really, really fascinating. And they're saying a huge part about what's missing right now is kids having that free play. And just like being able to not have parents around and exploring and just being with their peers. And there's a risk to that we're all afraid of that is really missing from our child's like development, like with their peers.
Right.
So like having your kid having a cast, that's a great thing. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Your kid was playing and having fun and exploring, and that's what they need to do to learn.
Yeah.
To,
That's
be
a
in
good
this
point.
world. So like whatever, like, I feel like the iPad parenting, there was a moment where it felt like, okay, that was totally fine. I think people are opening their eyes up now and they're starting to recognize, like, especially from that book. I'm telling you, everyone read that book. It's really an eye-opening book as a parent, because they think that they're protecting their kids by keeping them inside,
Right.
And not like exposing them to the world and all the scary things. But the reality is you can't protect them from what they're witnessing on that iPad. And that's actually more detrimental to their mental health.
Yeah, not wrong.
Well, there was that line in that show, Adolescence, where
My husband won't even let me watch
Oh, it's
past
crazy.
episode
but there's a
one.
line in it. We thought he was safe
Yeah.
because he was in his room.
But that's it.
exactly.
That's
what
it.
you
I
just
think
said.
we're learning
Yeah.
a lot. We're growing with this, right?
Yeah.
We're growing with this technology. So I think that's really actually like fascinating.
Well, because I thought, I have 3 boys, and my youngest is 10 and 14 and 16. And that I thought, well, I watched a lot of television as a kid. And because I watched a lot of television as a kid, I'm able to do this for a living, right? It didn't damage me. In fact, I learned from Mr. Dress Up and the shows. But then I realized, like too late, unfortunately, I was saying the iPad is the same as television, but it's not, because they
Right.
watch way more of the iPad than I ever did of television, right? It was appointment tuning. You got to watch Mr. Dress Up for half an hour, and then you had to go and play.
Well, that's
Right?
it. My mom's like, we used it as the babysitter when we made dinner.
Yeah, right.
And also, television is still a social experience.
Yeah.
You are in a room
Yes.
with people around you. You can experience it together, and then you turn it off and you walk away. Once it's in your hand,
Yeah, I get it.
there's like this kind of like weird addiction thing that happens. And also with all the streamers, you're getting fed all these different things, especially like apparently YouTube Kids is like the worst thing. I've heard.
Oh, I've
really?
heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus, like, back in the day, if you wanted to watch Top Chef Canada, you had to watch it Thursdays at 8 or you missed it.
Well, you still have to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to tune in
Exactly,
to that Top
right?
Chef Canada
100%.
Flavor Network.
That's it. But you had to do it, right? But there was no streaming or whatever stacked. There was none of that. You had to do it. You had to watch the commercials. You had to be part of it. It wasn't just this sort
So
of
true.
instant sort of thing, which is the difference between. I was the same way. I watch TV, watch your iPad for 4.5 hours. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. It's just fast paced. My brain can't make decisions right
They're
now.
dopamine
YouTube.
depleted.
Huge.
It's dopamine.
Huge, yeah.
That's it too.
Right.
But also I do want to say, don't you miss those days of waiting for that episode to come out? It became such a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone spoke about it. It was like such a social thing, you
Yep.
know, like everyone came together to talk about what's going to happen next. Also, don't you miss the days of like Blockbuster?
Absolutely.
Video Flex. Do you guys remember?
Yeah,
do you remember Video
definitely.
Flex?
Yeah, and
My
Jumbo
Video
Video.
Flex.
Yeah.
My kid came home. He's, what are we going to do tonight? I said, let's make it a Blockbuster night.
Yeah.
He goes, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And I just felt so sad
No.
that we don't have that.
You
Sure.
should be happy that you remember that and you live through
Yeah.
that.
Wait, and you would
Yeah.
you
Special.
explain to your kids, you're like, we would go to a video store and not really know what we're going to watch. Then you might finally land on something, and then guess what? There's none left because they're all rented out. And then they're like, well, how is that fun? I'm like, I don't know. It just was. Then you go to the guy at the front, and you'd be like, has anyone dropped off Titanic or whatever?
Yeah.
They're like, nope. Then you're screwed. And then you get another movie.
Yeah.
And then you have to watch the weirdest movies.
Yeah.
And you always said, and also you have to commit to like your family's movies too, because you're like, this is the entertainment
That's
for the
true.
night.
Right.
And then you go to the junk store, remember?
Yeah. Grab
Go
all
to
your
the junk store.
some
That's
Hot Lips
like,
and-
it's just random candy.
Yeah.
Best. The
I know, good old
best.
the times.
Yeah.
The times.
Well,
they
you
haven't
know what you're
changed.
doing? You know what you have that I still love kind of the old school feel is a good old fashioned cookbook. Like on your counter, flipping it's going to be stained with soups and
That's the
tahini
goal.
sauce, right?
That's
Why
the
are you
goal.
and your husband so damn
I know,
happy?
I know.
Oh my God, you should
On your
have Edo
Instagram?
on here. He is. It's so
At
funny.
Eden Eats. Go
'Cause
see how happy
I'm actually
couple-
glass half empty. He's glass half full.
Really?
Believe it or
That's
not,
good
everyone's
But
like, you're
you're
so
so-
joyful. I'm like, meet my husband. Yeah, no, writing a book is obviously like such a long and creative and fun experience and process. And I'm here finally. It took 3 years. And you're right. There's nothing better, honestly, than holding a physical book in your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the kitchen cooking from it, you can actually just like put it in front of you. Don't worry about the screens.
Yes.
Get that book out. the goal for me here is I want to see your books in like a year, and I want them to be like messed up.
Oh, yeah.
Dog-eared and
Literally.
Yeah.
I want it to look like just used.
Look at this. I could do this. Like, these guys make fun of me. I don't cook, but I like to bake.
Oh, nice.
Cardamom apricot upside down olive oil cake.
That's a really good one.
I could do this.
And you
look
know
at-
what? It's funny because that's
it's
also
delicious.
a great breakfast. I love cake for breakfast.
Sure.
Or all day because it's really tart from the apricots.
Look at you getting frisky.
That's my husband. And I'm like
Let's see.
about to rip off his top.
Let's go.
Oh, you know what I thought? Honestly,
Can I
because of
see?
the angle, I didn't think he had a shirt under that shirt.
No,
like
that's
it's a
his-
brown shirt, but I thought it was his skin.
That is literally his chest hair.
Oh, I love it. He's a real man.
There's nothing I love more than a really like big like pillow of chest hair with a gold chain.
Spectacular.
Sean
Like, that
Connery show
really-
now.
That really does it for me.
Do you like Sean Connery's chest hair?
You know what? He's hot.
Yeah.
Or he was really hot.
I still am. I'm right here.
Oh, no.
No, you know what? I just want to say quickly because I do love cooking. Johnny loves cooking. Shauna is learning. We're trying to get Shauna to learn.
I'm not learning. I've given up.
She's given
okay.
up. But I will say, if you are looking at a recipe on your phone, your hands are dirty, whatever, and you look over for the next step, and your phone, it goes into sleep mode or something.
Yeah, also like someone like texts you or your
Yeah.
alarm goes
Right.
off. I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
Why am I futzing with this? I
love it.
Let's be in the moment. Let's open that book.
Yes.
Let's open your tahini, baby.
I want this.
Yes, it's
Sweet
delicious.
potatoes are my favorite.
And it's vegetarian. So a little bit about Tahini Baby. It's a vegetarian cookbook. I have over 100 recipes in there. I have chapters like Boss Veg, Hot New Side Piece, Wow Salad.
Hot new side.
Thank you. We like to have fun in this fam. And writing a vegetarian cookbook, it was like a really fun experience. And I learned a lot. And this isn't just for vegetarians. This is literally for anyone that wants to include more beautiful, colorful, bountiful food.
A lot of people are doing like Meatless Monday. They're experimenting with a lot.
Yeah, this is like veg forward,
Ready for this
celebrating
one?
veg.
forward.
I was a vegetarian for a year.
And
I loved it. I loved it, and it was a lot more.
You looked better.
I know.
I think you look great.
No, I
Come
don't.
on.
No, I
Who?
don't.
Which?
No, I don't.
Who?
Yeah, but you looked better.
Give us your bare naked ladies.
Ain't it we never really knew each other anyway?
Give it.
Lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did. I'm lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did.
I don't know if anyone can see your face right now, but that's also the best part of this.
Oh yeah, it's a bit. I gotta ham it up. But I loved being a vegetarian, and I loved the food. But it was a little more prep. Like it wasn't like with you can always just make a burger, or you can always like a pork
like
chop
roasted
with
chicken.
yeah, like it's just a rotisserie chicken. Like
And
there
you
was,
got 3 boys.
I got 3 boys, but I did enjoy it. But I will say, you know what I made last night?
What?
Onion jam. Ever had that, Shauna?
Ooh, yummy.
Yummy.
Love that.
Do you
I
use
hate how
Serve it with some cheese.
I don't like
Put it
these
on a
two.
sandwich.
They've got like this thing.
Yeah. It's
Why didn't you
called-
bring your onion jam today?
You know what? I made a mistake, and this is when I need you on speed dial, because you sweat down the onion so much, Shauna and Johnny, that you think you have a lot when you start,
I
and at
know.
the end you don't. So I ended up using it all up.
He's like, I cooked this onion jam for 4 hours
Yeah.
and I finished it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's like maple syrup. It's like you have so much, and then there's only a couple spoonfuls.
That's
but
very true.
It's very delicious. So I love. You know what I will say, and even as a guy, like it's. I can't believe I'm gonna say this word. It's fun to play in the kitchen, right? You know what I mean? Like I am so not handy.
We should get you a T-shirt.
Yeah, it's fun to play
On
in
the
the kitchen.
back, it says "Bad Parents," but on the front, it
Yes.
says "It's fun to play
in the kitchen, and I'm talking about the kinky stuff like onion jam,
Like sweating onions.
like
I love
sweating
I
onions.
don't want
sweating a
anything
lot
to
of
say
onion
sweat.
jam.
Spread that all over the place.
Was there ever
sourdough bread?
a time, Eden, where when you were thinking about doing the cookbook, where people were like, hey, you know what, just do an app. Just do a website. Just kind of like put
I
it
have a
online.
website.
But like do what you're doing and putting, because like my biggest thing is like when you go and it's like jump to recipe, right? All those sort of things. I think that like in this technical world, to have something tangible, tactile in my hands to flip through and really take the time to do is something that brings me back to a time where I'm with my parents cooking or my grandmother or whatever, and I think that's something super special.
Well, lucky for me, Penguin Random House still makes the most beautiful cookbooks.
This
and
is beautiful.
We came together and to
I see
create this book that is like really like obviously so important to me, and like I really like I have my website, I have my social media, I'm on Eden, like my Instagram handle is Eden Eats. You can go to my website, edeneats.com. I have a lot of recipes on there, and I'm always adding new recipes. But there really is nothing like having a physical book. And it's such Like for me, it's probably one of the biggest accomplishments of my career, and I get to hold this in my hand. This gets to be passed down in my family, and there's so many stories,
true, yeah.
like connected to my childhood and to my life experience, and really, this food is like this is the kind of food that really like makes me happy and makes my family happy, and now everyone gets to cook it in their own home.
I don't think anything is more personal than food.
Yeah.
And for you to share your vision of food, I think is extremely personal. I know you better because of your book than I would just your Instagram, right? And I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that you did it. I would also think that somebody like yourself, like media personality, you host Top Chef Canada, you have the website, all these things, is that the people that came before you had books, right? Like the cool chefs.
It's
had
iconic.
These, big time.
It's crazy.
So for you
Like,
to be,
I can't believe I have a cook. This is my second cookbook.
and I think that's so cool because I'd be like, hey, if radio DJs wrote books, I'd be like, I want a book because I want to be part of that. And I think it's so cool that you did it,
you.
and hopefully continue to do it.
That would be the dream. But I do want to say something when you said you learn a lot about someone based off food and cooking. I feel that also similar with music. Music and food are very kind of connected in that way where you hear a song, it takes you back. You eat a dish, it takes you back. There's so much memory associated
That's very true.
with music and with food. And I don't know, I love making that connection.
Just like if I was to go on a blind date, because I don't eat seafood, if I was to go on a blind date and the woman ordered lobster and loved Gloria Estefan, I know we're not a match. Okay? I got to tell you something else.
Are you allergic to crustaceans? What's happening?
I don't
He's
know.
allergic to Latin
What,
music.
Latin music.
Oh, I
and
was gonna say
crustaceans.
just to like not really into like fancy like lobster.
Yeah, no, lobster
I had to
bisque.
scarf down his entire lobster. We were on a work trip.
You don't like lobster?
I don't like seafood.
And they brought us two, and we
Whoa.
didn't want to be rude. So he got up, and I said, "Don't worry, I got this," and just inhaled
Yep.
2 lobsters.
And how did you feel after?
Fantastic.
Great. Were you glowing?
Yeah, I felt
Excellent.
great.
You know what I just bought the other day? A mandolin. So I'm going to make your cucumber salad sumac
it.
sesame.
Do it.
Mandolins are pretty badass, by the way.
They are, but they're also like super efficient, and they make your food look like very like upscale. Like it looks
Totally.
like you know what you're doing in the kitchen when you have something that's like
Mandolin.
sliced on the mandolin.
Evenly sliced.
Yeah.
This does feel good, this book.
Thank you.
Oh, look at you in the back eating. What are you eating? Some potatoes there?
That's a potato. That's me and a potato.
I do another impression.
Tell
Do you
me.
remember the movie Sling Blade?
Should I?
No.
You might remember this
Wait,
guy.
what year is it from?
I like them French fried potatoes.
It's,
Okay.
What's his name?
What's his
Billy
name?
Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. Look it up.
Wasn't
after.
he married to Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, and they kept each other's blood around
The
their
blood.
necklaces.
Sling Blade
Yes.
came out in 1996.
Wasn't that also the year that like she made out with her brother on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
red carpet?
So awkward, right?
Can we go back to that time?
Isn't it good times?
Isn't that the blockbuster?
No, I just don't
Yeah.
understand. I love that there are so many things that have happened before this like moment in time that were so insane that if they happened now, we would be like, what is
yeah.
going
You're
on?
so right.
But that was a
There's
headline.
social media right
Oh,
now.
yep.
And sorry, back then, and Angelina Jolie was making out with her brother.
Yeah.
Hey, that's so true. And
would
yet we
lose
just
our
kind of say it in
Yeah.
passing.
Oh, yeah.
She
She's
got
got her
around
brother,
it.
and she's got Billy Bob's blood around her neck. We're like, oh, whatever.
I know,
Leaf game on tonight?
I know.
Right, I know. I know.
strange.
Yeah, it's so
That's
strange.
The best.
Oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I hope did I give you enough bad parent like stories?
Okay, here's the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chef in the building. Can you normalize like making chicken nuggets on a Thursday night because you don't have time to do it?
Like-
have you ever made what would be considered a totally shitty meal for your kids and been like okay with it?
First of all, I just want to say something. I did a podcast a couple of years ago, and we were talking about actually the woman that was on with me she made a kids cookbook, and it was really about introducing kids to vegetables and educating them and yada yada. And I came on because they were like, "Oh, she's in food and she's a mother," and I was like, "Great, I can do this." And we were talking, and at one point we were discussing like buttered noodles and like being like, well, this is really we're trying to kind of steer our kids away from butter noodles. And I was like, let me just say one thing: the butter noodles aren't just for the kids; they're for the parents as well. Okay, those butter noodles, I lean on them heavily.
Preach.
You?
Absolutely.
Preach.
I cook for a living. And I always make like at least once a week a butter noodle with some steamed broccoli for my kids. And they're so happy for it. And you know what? I join in on the fun. I love it too. That's nostalgia. It's first of all, you know the kids are going to eat it, which is always fun to have. And it's really easy to make. Okay? Like at the end of the work day, we're fucking tired.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're tired.
Yeah.
We're all tired.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I think that it's really fair and it's totally like honest to have those handful of recipes that you lean on that are really quick and easy. I eat eggs for dinner all the time.
yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
make we
That's
make
the best.
breakfast for dinner all the time.
Yeah.
And like I think that's just like, you know, it's good to have those things, and like it's also good to like say out loud, we do this and it's fine.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank
We're
you,
all
Eden.
fine.
Thank you, Eden.
Yeah.
Because if
feel
you're doing
better.
it, then we can do it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I just finished the broccoli with a really nice extra virgin olive oil and some Maldon sea salt, and it's perfect. Kidding. Kidding, but actually it does elevate. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where if people want to pick up the book, and they should pick up the book,
Yes.
where can they get in the book?
So the book is sold now wherever books are sold. You can also go to, I have a website, tahinibabybook.com, and that'll help you also kind of like find out where you can get it. But it's a Heather's pick in Indigo. So
Stop
Heather,
it.
let's do it. Woo!
Heather's
Thank you,
pick.
Heather.
Did you
Very
just smell the
exciting.
book, bro?
EK.
Smell a book.
I
He
love
just
the-
smelled the book.
I get
love,
that.
I love the smell.
Is that their book?
I've
So you
s-
just sniffed it, now you got to give it back to them?
I've smelled more books
I
than I've
brought
read.
that from home.
Weirdo. He's going to give it back. It's not even his book.
You know what?
You can't just go
Hold
around
on.
sniffing other people's books.
It smells like buttered noodles with a little bit of broccoli. See? I
And
pay
extra
attention.
virgin olive oil.
And whatever salt you just said earlier that I don't know.
Sea salt.
Oh, okay. I've
Like
heard of that.
Malden?
Oh, Malden.
Yeah, Malden. Do you know what that is?
Carl Malden? No, I don't know. Is that from like
It's
lava?
like the flaky sea salt.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
nice finish.
Where can you buy that?
You can get it anywhere.
Like
Malden?
regular,
Yeah.
regular
Like go
grocery
to Fiesta
stores?
Farms, you're fine. Go to like you can get it at Whole Foods, Fiesta Farms,
Okay, all right,
Lady
okay.
York.
All
I'm
right.
sure. Actually, Lady York, I don't know, but
All
you can
right.
find
Because I
Malden
always see
anywhere.
people use it, and then I go to like Fortino's, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, can you please tell me where the flaky salt is? And they're like,
It's you know what? It's really like it's fun to finish a dish with that
I
because
agree
you
with
do
you.
get like a pop of like a nice
Yeah.
kind of like, you know,
I'm stopping
it's
on
a
the way
beautiful
home.
flavor.
Well, we learned a lot, so thank you so
Oh
much.
my God. Thank you for having me.
come
We've
back.
been talking about this for a while.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah.
happy to finally be on.
Yeah, we were
God's
excited. She's
Hand.
like, she's coming.
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
love it.
I really think you made parents, because I think there's always that guilt with the eating.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, it's not the healthiest thing or it's not the craziest thing.
Oh.
But you don't want to do the fast food necessarily. So, you know, kind of giving permission to say just make something simple is okay.
I also think we're all like it's survival mode.
Yeah.
Dude, like,
Exactly.
listen, we're all human beings, and like we're like I feel like everyone's trying their best, and like I think if the parents are really struggling, the kids will feel that stress. So like I feel like sometimes just do the easier
Make it
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
And when you do your third book, you'll come back and tell
Yay!
us about it.
I love it. Can't
Thank you,
wait.
Eden.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
me.
Thank you.